Hey everyone, Captain Nathaniel Lemmon here, FloridaSightFishing.com, and I'm here to bring you my July fishing report. We're smack dab in the middle of our summer busy season. Schedule's full every week. We're catching lots of fish. This is a great time of the year to be on the water. It's one of my favorite times of the year to be on the water because everything's an option for us this time of year. Big redfish, small redfish, big trout, small trout, big snook, small snook. Seeing a lot more tarpon right now, so I'm going to jump right into it and talk to you a little bit about how we're doing with all these fish, show you some pictures about what we're catching, and if you're interested in doing one of these trips with me, definitely give me a shout out. The only thing you want to do is make sure you get with me way in advance. This is our busiest time of the year. Lots of trips, lots of summer vacation time, so these are the busiest 5 months of the year, so you don't want to wait till the last minute, okay? This is definitely something you want to try and get me with in advance because I don't even have anything open for July. Don't really have anything open for August other than a few days right at the very end of the month, and then have about a half of the month left still for September. So definitely filling up. So if you do want to fish with me, you're going to have to do it and get me well in advance. But let's jump into it and talk to you a little bit about what we've been doing, because redfish has been one of our primary things lately, and we're either getting big redfish in deeper water or we're catching lots of redfish in the shallow water. Here's a client of mine from the UK that hasn't been over in several years. We actually did a mix of fly fishing and spin fishing, but the first trip we started off in the morning. Check out this 30-pound redfish that he caught on fly. Awesome eat. I mean, it was awesome to watch the whole thing. Great fish. I mean, mid 40 to about a 46-inch redfish on the fly rod to start the day. It doesn't really get much better than that, but we came out on another day and he missed one on the fly rod, and then we let his girlfriend take over and check out some of the fish that she caught. Again, mid 40-inch redfish. So great trophy size fish. Here's another client of mine. He's actually from Pennsylvania, a new client. Came down and wanted to do a same thing, a combination of redfish fly fishing and spin fishing. So we started off his trip again with another 40-inch fish on fly. Great fish. Can't go really wrong after that. We actually went out and had a great day of trout fishing, caught numerous fish, or probably 10 to 15 trout, pushing 4 to 5 pounds, and then came back out on the next trip and we missed one on the fly rod, and then we started getting them on spinning rod. So great trip with a new client from Pennsylvania. Here's one of a regular client. His son actually plays quarterback for the UF Gators. He joined one of his friends. We came out. Check out this really pretty sunrise redfish that he got. Here's another one that's actually another client. We actually had to grind a little bit on this day to make it a little bit, put in some little extra time, but we persevered and we caught some nice redfish up on the flats for him. Another client, her sons like to fish with me a lot. This was one of his birthday gifts. Again, another trip we had to grind a little bit, but we pulled it out in the end with some nice trout and this great redfish in shallow water. So as you can see, we're catching a little bit about everywhere. Redfish in the deep water, redfish in the shallow water. Nothing's really going to change on that until we get out past Labor Day. So this redfish are still going to be an option for us the rest of the summer. We'll talk to you a little bit about trout because that's one of the main things that we've been doing a lot lately, because we're starting to get, in the past month, we've caught some really big trout. In fact, here's a 29-incher. Most people, I think, would call this a gator trout, a 29-inch trout in the shallow water. We actually had multiple fish that morning over 4 pounds, but a 29-incher definitely takes the cake. We also caught probably 4 or 5 redfish on this trip too, so a great trip fishing in the flats in the lagoons. Here's another one of my clients. Actually, this client's from Georgia. Here's first a picture of his son that we did a trip and caught a big redfish up towards Ponce Inlet. The next trip we came down into the lagoon, which is where we're at right now, and if you can kind of see, I'll turn my trolling motor. Got a house right over here on the shoreline. That's the Eldora House. That's an old historic home, about 100 years old. It's part of Canaveral National Seashore, a national park that's here in New Smyrna Beach. But I brought his dad down here for a trip down into the lagoon, and we had a great day catching trout with multiple fish up to 25 inches. So here's a picture of Brad and one of his trout. Another one of my clients from over in Central Florida came over with one of his buddies, and we had a great morning catching some smaller redfish and trout in the shallow water. Here's a nice 25-incher that he caught. Another one of my clients that lives local brought his neighbor out for a day. We caught a couple big redfish to start the morning, then I brought them into the shallow water, and we had a great time catching a lot of trout like this one right here, up to about 25 inches. We've caught dozens and dozens of trout in the last month that are over 4 pounds in that 24 to 25 inch range. Not getting a whole lot that are super big like those 29s, but we did have a 29, a 27 incher, and some other ones that are pretty close to that, you know, a little bit smaller, but close to that, but nothing 30 inches yet, but they're definitely out there. I mean, we caught some great ones today. I mean, we think we had a dozen trout over 20 inches first thing this morning. What else? Oh, here's another local client. His actually wife booked me for a trip because she felt that she needed him to get out on the water and spend a day on the water. So him and a friend came out. We didn't catch any redfish on this trip, but I bet we caught 15 to 20 trout like this one. A great morning in Mosquito Lagoon, catching a lot of trout on live bait. In addition to redfish and trout, and the trout, you've got about another month or two maybe of it being pretty decent before it really starts to get picked through and lean out. And then we don't do a whole lot of it in the fall. We catch them still in the fall, but this is definitely in the peak time of the year for targeting trout. But in addition to fishing for the redfish and trout, we're picking up snook too here and there. Here's actually a picture of my daughter that came out with me for a morning with my wife, and we caught a couple big redfish, some smaller redfish that were tailing, got plenty of trout, and then she finished off the day with this great almost 30-inch snook. Another client, we actually did a group trip, and we caught redfish, trout on that one, and while we're fishing for those two, picked up this great snook too. So snook, there's big snook at the inlet right now that are spawning, but it's really a cluster of boats. There's so many boats up there doing it that I really can't do the combat fishing and getting mixed in with the boats like that. But we're still picking them off down here in the shallow water up to 30 inches, which is a great quality snook. And we don't have to fight the boats, and we catch a lot of other fish in the process. Snook will stay pretty good all summer long. In fact, there's really no slow time of the year. It just gets better as we get into later in the fall and in the winter time when they really start to school up. What else? I think that covers about it. Starting to see some more tarpon. Definitely seeing some bigger ones, 25 to 100 pounds moving around. Just not really seeing any great numbers of them. Nothing that we really want to focus on and spend a whole day trying for. But they'll be around all fall. It actually tends to get better as we start getting a little bit of cold weather and things start to make them start migrating south again. But we'll take some shots at them here and there when we can. But it's really a standard dose of redfish, trout, snook this time of the year, mixing some tarpon in when we can. All right, so that covers about everything for our July fishing report. I hope you liked the video. If you do, definitely give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel. I do these, try and do them once a month for you, just to talk to you about what we're doing. Throw some pictures in there, and hopefully it piques your interest and you want to get out and spend a day with me on the water. There's a few ways you can do that. I'm going to throw some contact info for you here. My website, which is floridasitefishing.com. You're welcome to call me, 386-212-4931. Send me a text message. If I'm out on the water, I don't pick up my phone, so you are welcome to send me a text message, and I can do that. Otherwise, I do return phone calls, you know, after I get done with my morning charters, or whatever time I'm done during the day. I do return the phone calls and emails then. But you're welcome to send me a text message and do it that way. So email, phone, text, find a way to get with me,